It's January 13th, and right now, the most important shift in technology is not a new model, it's a new shape of power. The last 2 years, we have treated AI like a product that you open, a website, an app, a chat window, but in the last few days, the news has made the next stage much clearer. AI is moving from something that you use into something that uses everything else. It's becoming an agent layer that sits inside your work tools, your messaging platforms, your voice systems, and even the physical devices that you wear. And the fight is no longer just about intelligence, it's about access. Who controls the channels? Who controls the interfaces? Who pays the real-world costs? So let's start with the workplace because that's where the money is. Today, Salesforce rolled out a new version of Slackbot as an AI agent, generally available to Business Plus and Enterprise Plus customers. Salesforce CTO Parker Harris described it as a super agent inside of Slack, one that can find information, draft emails, and schedule meetings without leaving the product at all. And crucially, it can connect to other enterprise systems like Microsoft Teams and Google Drive if it has that permission. And that one detail is the point. The future isn't one AI that replaces your software, the future is AI that crosses your software boundaries. For a long time now, enterprise vendors have tried to win by becoming the system of record. HubSpot, Salesforce, Oracle. Now the more important prize is being the system of action. The agent becomes the thing that actually does work. It searches, it writes, it schedules, it triggers steps across tools. The user stays in one place and the agent reaches outward. If you're Salesforce, you want that one place to be Slack. If you're a competitor, you don't just fear the AI model, you fear the interface that people live inside 8 hours a day or more. Now let's zoom out of the workplace to the personal computer. Anthropic launched Claude Cowork, described as a general-purpose agent that can manipulate, read, and analyze files on a user's computer and create new files. It's offered as a research preview for Claude Max subscribers at $100 per month or $200 per month for Enterprise. And that pricing matters. It signals a serious bet. This is not a cheap consumer toy. It is a paid relationship where the AI becomes a daily operator. But the deeper question here is actually, what does file managing really mean? A chatbot answers a question, but a file managing agent changes your reality. It opens documents, edits drafts, moves data around, creates new outputs, and leaves artifacts behind. It is closer to a junior staff member than a search engine. When you put Claude Cowork next to the new Slackbot, you can see the same pattern in two environments. One inside the enterprise chat layer, and one inside your local file system. And one's agents can act across files and tools, the next obvious frontier is voice. Voice is where agentic stops being a demo and becomes a business. Today, Deepgram announced that it raised $130 million in a Series C led by AVP at a $1.3 billion valuation. The round included names like In-Q-Tel, Madrona, Tiger, Wing, Y Combinator, and new participants like Twilio and SAP. Deepgram said it has more than 1,300 organizations using its products. And the company described offering speech-to-text, text-to-speech, and low-latency features like interruption handling. Now, at the same time, ElevenLabs crossed $330 million in annual recurring revenue, according to CEO Maddie Stanishewski. He described a growth curve that is almost a textbook of accelerating adoption. 20 months to reach 100 million ARR, 10 months to reach 200, and 5 months to reach 330 million ARR. Now, that's not just hype, that's real recurring revenue growing fast in the part of the stack that feels the most human, which is speech. And the use case he described is very specific. Voice agents for customer support and customer experience using company data and knowledge bases. ElevenLabs also says enterprises have deployed its technology to handle more than 50,000 calls per month. And now this is where the conversation gets a little uncomfortable. If voice agents are getting good enough to handle real calls at scale, then the agent layer isn't just writing emails, it is taking jobs that were previously protected by the need for a real-time human interaction. And at the same time, voice is also the most powerful interface for agents because it removes the friction. Typing is slow, clicking is slow, talking is fast. If you're building a future where agents act, you want them to speak. And if you're running a platform, you want to control where the speaking happens. That brings us to the most direct power struggle in this news batch, WhatsApp. Today, Brazil's competition watchdog, the Conselho Administrativo de Defesa Econômica, ordered WhatsApp to put on hold its policy that bars third-party AI companies from using its business API to offer chatbots on the app. CADE also opened an investigation to determine whether the policy is anti-competitive and whether it unduly favors Meta AI inside of WhatsApp. Now, why did they do that? Well, that's because Meta changed the terms of the WhatsApp Business API in October 2025 to ban third-party AI companies from offering general-purpose chatbots on the platform. The policy was scheduled to go into force January 15, 2026, and companies like OpenAI, Perplexity, and Microsoft had said their chatbots would no longer be offered on WhatsApp once the policy began. CADE's move is not about whether chatbots are good, it's about distribution and exclusion. Because if agents are a new layer of action, the messaging apps are one of the most valuable places to embed them. Messaging is where people already talk and ask questions and coordinate. A chatbot inside messaging can become a concierge for commerce support, scheduling, and information. So if you own the messaging platform, you have a choice. You can let third-party agents live there and risk losing control, or you can block them, promote your own agent, and accept legal and regulatory consequences. So Brazil, being an absolute Chad, is signaling that this decision is not purely a product decision anymore, it is an antitrust decision. So let's look at these four pieces together. A workplace agent inside of Slack, A computer agent inside your files, a voice agent inside your customer support, a messaging platform fighting to control which agents can exist inside it. They're all the same story. The agent layer is spreading, and the gatekeepers are moving to lock down the points of access. But there's one more constraint that does not care about your product strategy: physical infrastructure. Agents don't have feelings, they don't run on motivation, they run on electricity, water, land, and power grids. Today, Microsoft announced a community-first approach to AI infrastructure and promised to pay its own way so that the electricity cost of serving its data centers is not passed down to residential customers. The company said it would work with local utilities and state commissions to ensure that the rates it pays cover its full share of the burden on the local grid, which is kind of based. This is a revealing moment because it shows what's coming next in terms of backlash. People aren't really worried about AI taking jobs right now or spreading misinformation anymore. They're worried about their power bill. When a company like Microsoft publicly commits to paying higher utility rates, that's not charity, it is risk management. It is a recognition that the next bottleneck is not model quality, it is social permission to build the physical machine that runs the models. And this connects back to our agent layer in a direct way. If the agent layer becomes the default interface for work, communication, and commerce, then demand for inference goes up, and data centers expand, and power demand rises. Communities push back, regulators step in, and companies will have to make pledges to avoid getting blocked. So we're approaching a real-world ceiling on how fast this can scale unless the industry solves governance and infrastructure, not just algorithms. Finally, there's the hardware interface question. What physical object becomes the agent's home? Today, Meta confirmed layoffs in ElevenLabs, about 10% of the division, beginning on Tuesday, with at least 1,000 jobs cut. Spokesperson Tracy Clayton said Meta was shifting some investment from the metaverse toward wearables and planned to reinvest the savings to support wearables growth this year. So this is the same story, but in hardware form. If agents become more usable, the device that gives them constant access becomes more valuable. That's why wearables matter. Smart glasses aren't just a gadget, they're an always-on interface that can see and hear what you see and hear. And that's why the metaverse is losing priority. It's not that the immersive VR is impossible, it's that the shortest path to mass adoption is not a fully virtual world, it's a lightweight device that augments the real one. So when you connect Meta shifting to wearables with ElevenLabs and Deepgram, scaling voice systems, you get a coherent picture. The agent's best interface may be spoken language delivered through something you wear that is connected to an ecosystem the platform controls. So here's my argument. The emerging battle is not who has the smartest AI, the emerging battle is who controls the agent layer. And the agent layer is controlled through 5 choke points. Number 1, enterprise surfaces like Slack, where the agent can become the default employee tool. 2, local computer workflows like file management, where the agent can create and modify real work files. 3, voice infrastructure, where agents become fast, human-like, and commercially valuable. 4, messaging platforms like WhatsApp, where distribution can be blocked or monopolized. And 5, physical infrastructure, data centers, electricity, water, where social and regulatory permission becomes the limiting factor. And that's why this moment feels kind of tense. Because once agents are embedded at these choke points, they're no longer optional tools. They become the operating environment that work and commerce flow through. Now, if you're an individual, that can feel like losing control. And if you're a founder, it can feel like every platform is about to close the gates. But I'm a grounded, optimistic guy, so I want to tell you where the value still exists. Platforms will win the choke points, but builders win the layers on top of them. When Salesforce makes Slackbot, it creates demand for companies that prepare Slack workspaces for agents, permissioning, audit trails, data hygiene, and workflow design. When Anthropic releases Claude Cowork, it creates demand for agent-ready file systems, better naming conventions, clear document structures, and safe automation patterns so agents can act without causing damage. When voice AI companies show hundreds of millions in recurring revenue, it creates demand for practical voice products in real industries: customer support, healthcare scheduling, restaurant ordering, internal enterprise help desks, especially products that reduce error rates and provide strong handoff to humans when needed. When regulators like CADE step in on WhatsApp, it creates demand for compliant distribution strategies, multi-channel agents that do not depend on a single platform, and that can move between web, SMS, email, and different messengers without being trapped. And when Microsoft publicly ties AI growth to electricity bills and community acceptance, it creates demand for efficiency, smarter routing, smaller models for routine tasks, better caching, and product design that reduces unnecessary inference. In plain terms, it creates demand for builders who can deliver the same outcome with less compute. So if you want the practical do this next version of this story, here it is. Don't build an AI product that assumes unlimited access to every platform. Build a product that assumes choke points, permissions, and friction, and wins anyway. You gotta make interoperability a feature and not an afterthought. If your agent depends on one vendor's API policy, you don't have a business, you have a hostage situation. You gotta make governance part of the product. In enterprises, the winners will be the tools that can explain what the agent did, what data it touched, and why it made a decision. That's how you get adoption without fear. And you gotta make your business model match reality. The signal from ElevenLabs and Deepgram is that the market will pay real money for systems that work reliably in production. Recurring revenue is not built on novelty. It's built on trust. So the fear is real. Agents are becoming the layer that runs work, communication, and customer interaction, but the opportunity is equally real. We're watching a new operating layer get installed across society, and it needs builders who understand its constraints, the incentives, and the human reality. I think in the next year, the most valuable skill isn't going to be prompting, it's going to be designing systems where agents can act safely, across tools, across channels, under policy pressure, and under infrastructure limits. That's hard, but it's also the kind of hard that creates durable companies. So that's today's update. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, I love you. Bye.